whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right? I'll holla.
Brother Gavin,
Peace.
also known as G-Boot. Born and raised in New Orleans, Gavin and his father created an authentic Creole-style seasoning called Nani's.
All right, so we just tried the chicken, and we put the tried the chicken with some Nani's. We added some Nani's Creole blends, as y'all saw earlier. And Dad is shout out to that. How was it? It goes great, obviously. That's what he said. So that's Nani's Creole Blends. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to our website, Nani's, Nonis, CreoleBlends.com. NONISCreoleBlends.com, ladies and gentlemen. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nani's goes great with every dish. Oh, I can smell it like that.
Go ahead. You know how to do it.
Anyway, guys, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nani's goes great with every dish. Go to NonisCreoleBlends.com and order you some Nani's Creole Blends, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 4th of July. Oh, we're going to try some more. Can't wait for the burgers. So.
Make your food more flavorful. Chicken, meat, or fish, Nani's goes great with every dish. Order at NonisCreoleBlends.com. We all know and love our B1 brother Gavin, also known as G-Boot.
All right, what's up, family? How we doing tonight? Welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Tuesdays. Or I should just say today, One Topic Tuesday, because I'm going to be talking only about one thing only tonight. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Please hit that right now. If you have not subscribed to our channel, do so. Hit a notification bell so when we go live, you can check us out on our live stream. You can you get that notification. I know sometimes some people don't get it, but hit the notification bell so you'll never miss when I'm going live and so forth. And please, if you wouldn't mind contributing to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle to support a brother. YouTube, of course, has this channel demonetized, and it would be great if you all would subscribe to the channel so that way we will know you all will be here. As you know, we'll go live and so forth. It would be great if you had that to support me, support this channel, and so forth. Okay, we also have our books. My book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., that's available on Amazon Kindle. Please pick that up. It would be great for you to have. Shout out to Derek Bailey. Shout out to Bookie and my sister girl, Danielle Meyer. Shout out to her. Coming off from work, getting off from work. Dina, gotta go home, deal with the kid. I know she's holding the baby right now, watching this channel on the low. So that way she doesn't wake him up. But welcome. We're going to be talking about one thing only tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know, are we expecting too much, or I should say asking too much of athletes? Now, recently, I talked about this on Sunday. Morant, who is a star shooting guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, was busted brandishing a firearm on Instagram Live, although this is not his IG Live. This is a friend, allegedly brandishing a weapon. It was a gun to my when I looked at it. Now he's a shooting guard. Obviously, he wants to. He's taking it to a whole term to a whole new level because this is John Morant's second time being shown on IG holding a firearm. The first time he did it, which was back in, I believe it was in April, he was on IG Live and he was actually doing this at a strip club where the NBA suspended him for 8 games. Memphis Grizzlies suspended him from the team. He couldn't come to the facilities. He couldn't do any of the practices, nothing like that. And he went and spoke to Jalen Rose, sat down with him on ESPN and talked about how he was trying to change his life. He was trying to make amends, do something new for himself. Blah 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 blah. And John Morant, it's important to note, is 23 years old, so he's a kid. He's young, but he's an adult. He's young enough to know better. And this was someone who has gone. I won't say a rags to riches story because he comes from two parents. Grew up in private school, went to private school, went to college. He's had a I want to say a great life. He's been blessed. And I mean, just coming out of the NBA, from college to the NBA, you play for the Memphis Grizzlies. You're an NBA All Star for 2 straight years in a row. He was also the NBA Rookie back in 2019. So he's been playing for about 3 years now. And he's about to essentially blow his entire career, in my opinion, on stunting for the gram, doing some stuff, stupid stuff. Now, what happened recently, you all have seen the photograph I've have, and also I was showing somebody had this up. So this is Ja, and somebody had this picture up because Ja's been hanging out obviously with the wrong, to me, with the wrong crowd, the wrong people, and somebody put this meme up, Ja Wick, because Ja's been holding these firearms. Now, let's just be clear about this. What he did was not against the law. What he did not break the law. It is not, he lives in Tennessee. Tennessee, is my understanding, is an open carry state. Even so, Second Amendment of the Constitution says that you can carry a firearm. There's nothing illegal about that. That's not a threat. What he did was not a threat. However, fundamental rule that we practice, especially as gun owners, is that you never ever pull a firearm unless you intend to use it. Now, of course, he's playing around with it, but as the old adage is, guns are not toys. And I've seen, even on Twitter, on Facebook, especially recently with prom, and I've seen white kids, black kids, but particular white kids. I've seen them holding firearms. I've seen these parents who are holding guns to their daughters' prom dates. These fathers, dads with guns on prom, where they take these pictures like this. You see that? You see these things? I was talking about this. I had problems more with this than I did with Ja, because you're around kids and you're holding a shotgun, and yes, it's all in jokes, but is it? I would have a problem if I was the dad of this boy, of any of these boys, and you got a loaded shotgun pointing at my kid. It's not funny to me. But getting back and relating that to Ja, so once this happened, I knew automatically where it was going to go. Stephen A. Smith, Michael Wilbon said stuff about him. Shannon Sharp actually said, Josh should get 41 games off the bat. Skip 41 games because he ain't heard his lesson. He's dropping the bag. He's dropping the bag. Skip. So 41 games. 41 games is what he's asking for. They have not announced exactly how much he's going to be suspended for. According Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA, he said, "quote I am shocked to see another video with Ja Morant with gun." The commissioner, I'm going to read, obviously, or play, unless ESPN is going to hit me with they may likely hit me with a copyright strike, but I think I could get away with playing the audio. But this is Adam Silver. He's the commissioner of the NBA. I'm going to just play the audio so you can hear it. I won't show the video just in case, and this is fair use. So I'm going to play that for you right now. Listen.
He did this again.
Well, we talked directly about the consequences first before we got to a subsequent potential to have done something wrong. We were very focused on the misconduct that was in front of us at the time. And frankly, most of our conversation was about how incredibly serious the first incident was of waving, a firearm on social media. And again, and the consequences there, an 8-game suspension was pretty serious and something that he, at least to me, seemed to take incredibly seriously in that time. And we spoke for a long time about not just the consequences that could have on his career, but the safety issues around it. Could have injured, maimed, killed himself, someone else with an act like that. And also the acknowledgement that, as you said, he's a star. I mean, he has an incredibly huge following.
Yeah.
And that my concern, and I thought he shared with me, that millions, if not tens of millions of kids globally would see him as having done something that was celebrating in a way. That act of using a firearm in that fashion. And so I at least was left with the sense that he was taking this incredibly seriously. So honestly, I was shocked when I saw this weekend that video. Now, we're in the process of investigating it, and we'll figure out exactly what happened to the best we can then. It's the video's a bit grainy and all that, but I'm assuming the worst, but we'll figure out, exactly what happened there.
Okay, so that was a commissioner. Now, it's important to point out, I stated April, I was incorrect. That was March when he was at this strip club, Shotgun Willie's. And Ja was Shotgun Willie. Sound like a barbecue. He was at Shotgun Willie's holding a firearm. And he got suspended 8 games, as you heard by the commissioner. Now, as I stated before, what he did, that is not against the law. I am going to explain to you all, though, there's legal ramifications still from this, why it's important, number one, to keep people around you. Number two, why I think, me personally, I don't think the blowback he's receiving is unwarranted. Now, I saw my brother, Dwan B. Shout out to Dwan out in LA. I was listening to his broadcast yesterday. And I took it, especially from his tweets. He was, I want to say, defending Ja. Not in the sense of what he was saying was right, but I think what he was saying is, what's the big deal? What he did wasn't wrong. It's not you at the end of the day, and such and such. Well, my perspective of it is that while it is not us at the end of the day, we are not in Ja's shoes and so forth, it is irresponsible. And while it is irresponsible for somebody who has that amount of money, especially when you are a multimillionaire, you are 23 years old, you have the world basically at your fingers, not at your fingers, excuse me, in the palm of your hand. You are the primary breadwinner for your family, your young child, your mother and father depend on you, your entourage and friends, they depend on you for a living, I'm sure. And you have been warned once about ratchet behavior. Now, this is not about, oh, be a good nigga and be you gotta be good because white man do this. No, it's about being smart, knowing how to play a game. When you work for, now this is the legal aspect of it. If you work for NBA, if you work for the NFL, as you know and already have figured out, there are contracts that these players sign that guard their character. Like what happens with the NFL, you hear them often when they suspend a player, they talk about tarnishing the shield. I told y'all about Ezekiel Elliott being suspended. You all know they've had, especially when the Ray Rice situation happened, he got suspended for 2 games, then he got kicked out the league when the video was released, even though he admitted, yes, I did this. And it's a cruel world, and yeah, it's a cruel world and such, but they have, I'm talking about the teams, the owners, when you sign a contract with someone, especially somebody that's paying you, it's always important to read your contract and understand that whatever you do, you are a reflection of that organization, which is why they dropped him. It's the same thing with, I don't like this, but when you take, for example, what happens with Jonathan Majors now, all the movies that he roles that he auditioned for, that he got, are now being pulled from him over an accusation. It is not true. I don't think it's, do I think it's fair? No, I don't think it's fair, but the world is not fair. The universe isn't fair. They have a business that they run. I get it. From that standpoint, I get it. Yes, I believe white supremacy and racism, there is a factor in that. Yes, there's a discrepancy in how black men and white men are treated. You compare Jonathan Majors to Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller has not been scrubbed from Marvel. I'm sorry, from The Flash. They're making the new Flash is about to drop. I get all of that. But you also know DC is not coming back. This universe is not coming back either because they haven't made the money that their rivals have made. Marvel Comics has been kicking that ass at the films, at the movies, and even those have been on the decline a little bit. So the point being is that when you have a contract, when you have an agreement with someone, be mindful that of your contract, be mindful that you are obligated to that company when you sign a contract because parties are exchanging favors for the other in a legal binding agreement. There's offer, consideration, and acceptance, which makes a contract. And when you accept something, they have a right as your employees, just like your employers have a right to hire, they also have a right to fire. Now, if you have a contract, if they fire you unjustly, you can always sue. Yes, I had this agreement, and you go before a court, and yeah, you may luck, and you could very well win some money. You could very well get the bulk of your contract that you were supposed to entitled to in damages. I believe Ray Rice sued the Ravens successfully, mind you, to get the monies back that he was owed because he had already told the league, he had told the NFL owners, or the owner of the Ravens, what had happened to him, and they settled the lawsuit. So he did get about 3.5 million back on what he would have earned for the final 15 weeks after serving the NFL's 2-game suspension. His football career was over after that. Now, when you look at John Morant had also, here's another thing. He had endorsement deals that got pulled. He had an endorsement with Powerade. And he was set to earn. So here's the thing. Based off his salary, he has an estimated net worth right now of $80 million, and he was expected to earn $38 million in NBA salaries. His rookie contract, he started out with $12 million, then it got up to $33 million. So he has been gifted And he worked, yeah, has a multi-million-dollar contract, and he's got a daughter, 3 years old. He bought a mansion for his parents in East Tennessee, reportedly worth 1.3 million. He lives right next door to them. So he has a mansion. After he signed his extension in 2022, Morant added another property near his parents' mansion for a reported 3 million. The mansion spans 13,836 square feet and includes several bedrooms and among other luxury amenities. So he's got money. So Lamiko says, "What's up, Lamiko? You said you don't like how the sports media is covering his stupidity, but he deserves the scrutiny." Well, if he deserves it, then they're gonna cover it. Now, are you? I mean, look, this is the life you. When you become a celebrity, it's just like with Jamie Foxx. People were saying he was sick, and people were saying, "Well, his health is none of your business." Well, yes and no. It is not none of our business because yeah, it is not our business because it is his privacy. He's entitled to that. But when you're a public figure, you kind of give that up because how you make money is through the public. And people are concerned, especially if you work for obviously have a film coming up, your projects you're supposed to work on and complete. There's some concern about that. But John Morant, yeah, he deserved. This is a lesson for him. I don't think John Morant is saying all that. Here's the flip side to this. I don't think John Morant is an evil person. I don't think that he should be. I don't even think he should be banned 41 games. I think that's even excessive. I don't think it's up. I'm going to disagree because I got to say, Skip, that 41 game that was warranted. But no, I don't think And Stephen A. Smith, oh, he should be gone. He should, quite frankly, not be in the league, not be back if he's doing this so stupid. If he's gonna be that stupid. I mean, look, I don't like those Negroes. A lot of them on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is the biggest one. Stephen A. Smith has nothing good to say about black men. But I can't even fault Stephen A. Smith. Here's the thing, Lamiko. I can't fault Stephen A. Smith because Ja gave him the ammunition. See, that's the thing. I can't fault them. I can't fault Shannon and Mike Wilborn. Mike Wilborn, let me tell you about Mike Wilborn. When Sean Taylor, the star safety for the Washington Redskins, that's what they were called at that time, was killed in his home, Mike Wilborn put out an article citing Sean's history coming back to bite him because Sean Taylor had he was a violent person. Was caught up in thug life and all this stuff. And this happened basically trying to justify he was trying to justify his death based off the things that happened to him. And Wilborn got called out for that. A lot of people didn't like that. He said it wasn't surprising on his shooting. And Colin Cowherd did the same thing. And they never apologized for it. And that happened. This guy put out this article. I just want to show y'all how Colin Cowherd and Sean and Mike Wilborn should apologize for what they said about Sean Taylor. Before the coffin was even cold, it's time for them to step up and admit they were wrong for the sake of Taylor's family and all that they cared about. Because remember, Sean Taylor, they tried to make it look like he was killed because of his history, his thuggism. But what really happened was he had invited some individuals into his home. I guess friends of friends. They scoped out the place, and a few days later came back to Sean's home to rob him with his girlfriend and their daughter present. And Sean defended his family, but sadly, he ended up getting shot in his leg, which hit an artery, and he bled out to death. But he wrote this crap. And he wrote no all the information's not in on whether Taylor's murder was random, but I feel pretty confident that my gut feeling, like any of yours, by the way, is right and was right. Basically, what he said, if you read here, he talked about how he has this history of violence against cops, assault, spitting, DUI. I'm supposed to believe his judgment got significantly better in 2 years from horrible to fantastic. He says, but Colin, he cleaned up his act. Well, yeah, just because you clean the rug doesn't mean you got everything out. Sometimes you got stains, stuff so deep it never ever leaves. They said this shit. And they never apologized for it, and they're not going to. You can't expect that. But John Morant has not, and let's be real, John Morant has not been convicted. I think that's important to point out. He has not been arrested on any charges. And carrying a gun, showing a gun on IG is not necessarily a crime. Not necessarily. It depends, because they got some people I know who may have, like, for instance, a protective, they're dealing with the domestic situation, and they may show themselves pointing a gun at the camera screen and so forth, and they send it to their respective spouse or lover, and the spouse or lover may perceive that as a threat. Well, there are crimes against, like cyberbullying. There are crimes against, of course, if there's a protective order, there are crimes against violations of a protective order. There's actually a statute such as that, and they can take that as a threat. So it can happen. Of course, from looking at the video, all it seemed like is that he was jamming to some hard hip hop, and I'm not gonna play it. Play the audio. He's dancing with his friend, D-Tap 2. He puts up a handgun, and there's somebody in the back. There's a couple people in the back, and then Ja pulls out a real strap, and the guy puts the camera away. But it's too little, too late. Everybody saw it. So it was, even though this wasn't his IG, the first time this happened, you should have been, where's his dad? That's what I gotta know. Where's John Morant's daddy? T Morant. Where's T? Because I would have to slap the shit out of my boy if he did some shit like this. This is stupid. Now I'm gonna go to here's another thing. I don't expect much. We're gonna go to the poll. So a question I asked, do you think John Morant deserves the blowback he's receiving? Out of 7 votes, 71% of you say yes, 29% of you say no. We're going to do something we haven't done in a long time. I want you to call in. I want to say, if you don't think he deserves the blowback, I want you to call in. This is the number, 504-656-6760, 504-656-6760. I want you to call in and tell me why you think John Morant is not in the wrong. Who do you think is wrong? Do you think he deserves, I'll say this. I don't believe he deserves to lose his job. I certainly don't think what he did, no, he didn't hurt anybody, but what he did also is set a bad example for children. People look up to NBA athletes. People look up to NFL athletes. They look up to stars. Kids watch this. They buy. They're consumers. They are customers. So I can see why a commissioner or a team owner would have a problem with this because this image is not what we want for our brand. I get that. Do I think he's a but and I get what Brother Dwanby was saying. Well, what about Brett Favre? What about the man that got choked out in the subway? We're talking about all we can talk about all of that, and those persons can still be wrong for what they did, and John Morant can also be wrong too. The John Morant can be wrong for what he did as well. Now, I don't think, and of course, let me be careful. This is all alleged. Everything is alleged because not Brett Favre has not been convicted of anything. John Morant has not been convicted of anything. And Daniel Penny has not been convicted of anything, although we saw the video. And I saw this video with John Morant. Now, it's obviously not in the same category of fruit when you compare them, but I just think it was stupid. It was irresponsible what he did. And we look to athletes as a role model, especially for our children. I try, and as a kid, I looked up to a lot of athletes. Yes, Michael Jordan was the biggest one at the time. But now, as I've gotten older, the stuff I've heard about Michael Jordan makes me think twice. I was thinking the wrong thing. Because a lot of these guys are not nice guys when they're off, when they don't have a camera in front of them. They're different. And if you don't believe me, just look at the story of Chamillionaire, the rapper Chamillionaire, who was talking about Michael Jordan, how he wanted to take a picture. And Jordan said something about how he doesn't take pictures with black folks. I know my man Harvey, shout out to Harvey Superboy. I don't know if Harvey's watching. Harvey has talked about Michael Jordan before. And I don't think he knows he's ever seen Michael, but he's heard stories about it. Six five six 6760. We got nobody that's gonna call in. I'm just curious. So, what would do y'all think should be my whole theory on this? What do y'all think? I want to ask you. I want to say, Lamiko, what do you think should be? I guess if you're going to talk about punishing him, do you think he should be punished? Do you think he should be suspended? What length of games would you give him? You could put it in the chat. You don't have to call in. How long would you suspend John Morant? Do you think he got 8 games? So I can tell you flat out, if he got 8 games, he's not gonna get a single-digit suspension. It's gonna be double. We know that much. Yeah, I remember with Plexico, he got kicked out of the league, frankly, for shooting his own damn self in a New York club. Yeah, he was partying and he shot himself in the leg. I remember that. And Plaxico was playing for the Jets. I think he was playing for the Giants at the time, right? So the Giants cut him. The Giants cut him, yeah, after that incident. And he won the Super Bowl for him. Now, McGurus used to get fines and stuff for slapping referees, unsportsmanlike conduct, complaining about officials. I hate that rule too when they get these rule these. I hate that rule too when players can't comment about the officials. I don't see why not. It's free speech. You did a piss poor job. My boss gets to chew me out. But anyway, they got rules against that. You can't talk about the referees in public. I remember in the NFL when it got bad, the referees were actually on strike, and they got those replacement referees. And I think it was Seattle versus Green Bay, and the Seahawks beat the Packers on a last second touchdown where it looked like both the receiver and cornerback caught the ball, and one official was waving touchback, the other one's waving touchdown, and they said it was a touchdown, even though you could see clearly the Packer caught the ball first, and just the Seahawks player tried to yank it out. And he got away with a push off. It was golden, the receiver was Golden Tate. I remember that. That was over 10 years ago. And Mike McCarthy didn't even want to talk about the referees afterwards, but they had to bring the real referees back because they knew the season was going to be over because fans were not going to put up with that. Money is power. You say 25 games. You say 25 games? I mean, I would go as much as to say I would give him like 16 or 20 games. I don't think he should lose his career. Fine him if you want and suspend him, but making it look like he's the worst player in the world, worst person in the world. I don't think that's fair. And look, he's gonna lose endorsements from this. And the point of all of this, guys, that I'm trying to get to, especially those that say, "Well, he didn't break the law, he didn't do this," is that it ain't about you breaking the law. It's about decorum. When you go into a courtroom, like I do, there's attorneys are expected to follow the rules, certain ethics, decorum, how their appearance. I couldn't walk in court with tennis shoes and jeans on in front of a judge. I'm supposed to wear a suit. That's just what they expect. If I didn't, they would have a problem with it. They may kick me out of the courtroom. And you say, why? You got freedom of choice. Yeah, I got freedom of speech and I have freedom of choice. But guess what? When you sign up for this profession or for this job, they have requirements. If you work for McDonald's, you got to wear a uniform. Same thing if you work for Chick-fil-A. If you work for a grocery store, and I had a bad experience today. I won't get into it too much, but I'll just say this. We got so many ratchet people in management. There's a certain element with there's a certain element that needs to be eradicated. And I know people are young and so forth, but lessons need to be learned. How you don't treat customers. People acting dumb. We can't accept that no more. So when I ask you all, are we asking too much of athletes? We can go back to Muhammad Ali. We can look at Jim Brown. Well, this happened to me at Winn-Dixie. This happened at Winn-Dixie to me today. I don't want to get into it because I already vented, but if I ask for something and I'm supposed to get it as a customer, it's my right if I ask you. I don't need your smart ass talk. Keep your comments to yourself. I'll just put it that way. That's what shit I had to deal with earlier today. You say 25 because you think Adam Silver will cut half of the season from drop. He probably will. David Stern, who was the original NBA commissioner, he probably would have given him even longer than half the season, man. I wouldn't have been shocked if he would have given him 60 games. That's the type of person Stern was. He was strict. Now I would think that would be completely excessive. But yeah, Ja, he gonna get at least 20. I think he should get like at least 20. But as I was saying with athletes, like we go to the Muhammad Ali's, we look at the Jim Browns, we look at those men. Those were the exceptions of athletes who stood up for what's right. The brother who also played for the Bulls that wasn't invited, who didn't go to the White House. Cartwright. No, Bison. I'm looking at this. God help me. Who was the athlete? He was a Muslim. He's a Muslim now. Got kicked out of the league. Muhammad Abdul Ruaf. Yeah, that's him. He refused to stand for the national anthem. That's what it was. His name was Chris Jackson. He played for LSU. Yeah, that's him. The anthem protest. Yeah, a lot of those guys. Craig Hodges is the other one. Yeah, Craig Hodges. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. And that cost him because he was opposed to the Gulf War. Yeah, and he was expressed his dissent. He went to the White House, but he gave the president a letter and he wore the dashiki. Right. So he did go. Yeah. But I don't think we. I think it was at least spoiled us because I at least stood up for black people, as did Jim Brown, Bill Russell, and to a degree you could say Kareem, although he's gone off now. But Michael Muhammad Ali was different. Jim Brown was different. Those men faced adamant discrimination and racism. They knew who the enemy was. Same thing with Kareem. They knew all of this stuff at that time, and Bill Russell too. I don't think our players speak up a lot now, and we put emphasis on them because of the endorsement deals, the money that they're going to be missing out if they take a stand for righteousness. And unfortunately, that's what's happened. I think that we ask our athletes to be to do too much to a degree, yes, but at the same time, I should not, and I don't think our kids should be looking up to athletes like that. They shouldn't have this mantle of speaking like we don't like it when Charles Barkley speaks. They shouldn't. That's not to say they don't have a right to their opinion, but they have no right to speak on my behalf because I set the standard in my household. We set the standards for our kids. The kids should be looking up to are their parents. You know, the real doctors and lawyers, the real men that stand up for righteousness. Athletes acting a fool. John Morant is 23 years old. He's not Muhammad Ali or Jim Brown. Now, athletes still have, I think, a responsibility with the power that they have. And Jim Brown had said this when Charles Barkley was said, "I'm not a role model." And Jim Brown, according to Bobby Glanton Smith, he said, "It ain't about you being a role model, but it's about you being irresponsible with the power that you have." Because John Morant has money. He can hire security. He can hire brothers. He basically pays for other people to live. Same thing I've heard with Kevin Hart, Floyd Mayweather. They had an entourage. They took care of their people. So I don't look up to athletes as being the standard for everything. But what do y'all think? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? I see 67% now say he deserves the blowback. 33% said no. So that means 3 of y'all say he doesn't deserve it. 6 of y'all say yes. Well, look, I'm gonna wrap this up. This wasn't gonna be a long live stream, but that was the only thing I wanted to talk about. I think John Morant still has a future, but he's destroying it at every chance by dumb behavior. And you got to play it smart, especially when you're in their, even if in their world you play by their rules, even if the game is rigged. Get the bag. That's the ultimate goal, guys. Get the bag. If you got it in front of you, don't fumble it. Get the bag and keep it. T Morant, get in your son's ear. All right, y'all. But we're gonna ask y'all to please support this channel if you could by donating to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle at the bottom at Cash App Gavin Reshart ESQ. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, you gotta control your dollar. You gotta know your history. Because you know they're wrong. So check out the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Amazon Kindle. Join the Patreon and advertise with our channel with email. You can donate, purchase some Narni's Creole blends. Ladies and gentlemen, try don't chicken, meat, or fish. Narni's goes great with every dish. And gotta get on up and video sold on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify, respectively. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I will see you all Thursday, okay? Peace and blessings. I'll holla. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. Love y'all. Peace out.